Welcome to Eric's View, the Mixed Martial Arts edition. And on today's show, I'm going to go one-on-one here in the Octagon with an expert in mixed martial arts, who's an instructor, who owns the place, and knows everything there is to know about MMA. Here on Eric's View. Mixed martial arts, also known as MMA, is a full combat sport that allows people to use the ability to grapple and strike, and encompasses many forms of martial arts, not limited to, but including Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Muay Thai, Karate, Taekwondo, and boxing, as well as several other forms of martial arts. It began in 648 BC in ancient Greece with the sport known as pankration, which allows you to use grappling and striking skills. But then we fast forward years later to the early 1920s in Brazil, where the Gracie families created the sport of Vale Tudo. Then we go another 40 years later in the 60s and the 70s with Bruce Lee, who developed a form called Jeet Kune Do. And then we go to the 1993, where the Gracie family, along with Royce Gracie, brought Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu to the United States and created the sport and the company known today as Ultimate Fighting Championship. Its popularity has soared in the 2000s despite its early beginnings, which had some issues with major television stations. But because of its popularity today, numerous states in this country have legalized it, some have not. Schools have opened up so kids can learn this incredible sport. Welcome back to Eric's View, the Mixed Martial Arts edition. I told you I was going to go one-on-one with an expert MMA instructor and owner of one of the best schools here on Staten Island. And here he is to go one-on-one with me, Mr. Michael LaSalle. Thank you so much for coming on.
No problem.
And it's really good to have you here and all that.
Thank you. Thank you for putting me on your show.
Oh, no problem. You know, after being a student here at this school, you know, I think he was an amazing instructor, great patience with people. You're very clear with your directions. You know, you're an all-around good instructor.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
No problem. And so I wanted to talk to you about everything about MMA, your life, you know, about the sport itself, the future of legalization in New York. So we're going to begin with, you know, just MMA in general.
Okay.
A lot of people have different definitions of what MMA is. Even though I gave people the general definition, how would you personally define mixed martial arts?
I would describe mixed martial arts as a combination of any couple of arts mixed together. And our theory of it, as we see it on TV today, is all, you know, stand-up, Muay Thai or boxing, and then grappling is just jiu-jitsu and wrestling. But there's so many other aspects of it. You know, you could do any art or any bunch of arts, and that's kind of mixed martial arts, right? So if you train in 5 different, you know, areas of martial arts, you're doing mixed martial arts. So most of us for the sport see just the stand-up, which is Muay Thai, and the grappling, which is mostly Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu wrestling. So that's where we're kind of looking at it as far as, you know, the sport of it.
Exactly, you know. What I love about this sport is I see some fighters are experts in only 2 fields, and yet there are some that are expert in 3 or 1, but it doesn't even matter. Sometimes even that one art form can win you the match.
Yeah,
sometimes even 2, it doesn't. The beauty of this sport is you can mix and match all kinds of moves.
And anything can happen. You know, that's the great thing about it.
Just
you can get the knockout, you can get a submission.
Yep.
It's just
exactly. And we were describing the different various forms of martial arts, you know, that you can use in this sport. But between the two biggest, I think, are probably Muay Thai and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. What would you say is your personal favorite of the two, and why?
I can't give you a personal favorite, but I actually have a love for both. I do love stand-up. I came up as a boxer, so I do kind of like the aspect of just being able to punch and fight, and also the Muay Thai, kickboxing. But Jiu-Jitsu is so hard for me, and that's why I love it so much, because it's always something to learn. It's always something new to kind of pick up on constantly, you know?
Exactly.
So I really love both of them. I really have a passion for both of them. So.
And it shows your passion, especially with your students that are in the background here. You can see that passion emanating from them.
Thank you.
And you know, I like both, you know, too, because I can, you know, it's like picking your favorite topping on a pizza. You can't go wrong. You know, it's, you know, even though it might be a weird description for some people, but you know, in the sense that, you know, you can do one aspect where you can punch, you know, and kick combinations with Muay Thai, but with Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, I can learn how to do a rear naked chokehold. I can learn to stop or prevent my opponent from trying to choke me out. You know, I like both aspects, you know, right there. And the thing is, you know, a lot of people get into sports or any area because there's certain benefits they get out of it. What would you say is the benefit that people get out of doing mixed martial arts?
I mean, from any age, from little kids, 3 and 4 year olds, focus, discipline, coordination, balance, all the way to adults, are just stress relief, strength and conditioning. You know, just an overall better health. I mean, any sort of martial art. You know, whether you do Tai Chi or, you know, Muay Thai or boxing, just the benefits alone. You kind of just try and live a better life when you're working out and trying to be healthier, and you kind of, you know, instead of going out and having that drink, you may say, hey, you know what, I have to get up and train tomorrow morning, so I won't drink tonight. You know, just little stuff like that, but overall benefits just
for me
are amazing, you know.
Definitely. For me, on the autism spectrum, you know, I have Asperger's syndrome, and the benefit out of this is, you know, months before I joined your school and did mixed martial arts, I had a lot of issues with anxiety, with depression, being upset. Then I said, you know what, let me try going to your school, and you know what, to me, what I'm doing, it's kind of like, it's therapy in a sense, you know, without the couch. I don't have to I don't have to talk my feelings out to some doctor. You know, even though that's beneficial for some people, not knocking that down, but for me personally, I like getting my emotions out by kicking a pad, punching a bag, you know, learning how to do maneuvers. And not only that, it's great exercise, like you said. It'll add years to your life as well, and it's got, you know, even though there are some aspects that can hurt you at times, but it's also very healthy in the sense that you can get good cardio and good self-awareness. Yeah.
Definitely, and it's true, like no matter where you train, is to kind of check out the school, check out the location, and make sure that anyone could punch and kick you. And it doesn't mean that you're going to learn great martial arts if you go into a school and you're getting beat up every day. So make sure that the people that are training you are professionals and are taking it seriously, not just trying to make money off of it. Because there's a lot of places out there nowadays, everyone's on that mixed martial arts, you know, it's the hot new buzzword, so everyone's opening up a MMA school. And make sure that the trainings are legit, you know. Not necessarily that you have to be a great fighter to be a good teacher, and not necessarily great teachers have a lot of fights, but it's just that overall aspect of working out, training.
Of course, you know, I definitely see that, because there's plenty of schools, you know, on Staten Island. You know, like I was saying earlier in the intro about how it's grown, how so many schools are being built, you know, around the mixed martial arts nowadays. You know, now, you know, with its popularity, do you think the popularity on Staten Island, has it been good, or do you?
I think it's both. I think it's the popularity of it has, you know, definitely expanded the open people's eyes for it and expand the business aspect of it, but also I think there's a lot of people that aren't legit out there too, just trying to make a name for you know, make some money off of it. And you got to just kind of, like I said, be careful where you're training and who you're training with, because you can get seriously hurt if you're not, you know, in the right place. So.
Exactly, you know, because you got to, like with anything, you got to make sure the person that you're learning from knows what he's talking about, is teaching you the right skills in mixed martial arts and not just what you think you know from watching Strikeforce or UFC and all.
That's the part. Everyone could YouTube something and watch and pick up something from YouTube, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's right. And also, a lot of instructors have egos where they're afraid to, show their student that they have a weakness. Everybody has a weakness. So if you and I start rolling, you're going to submit me, I'm going to submit you. That's how we learn. So that's the problem with a lot of places, a lot of instructors, is that they'll hurt the student, so the student won't expose their weakness. But in reality, when you're training and you're all working together, at the end of the day, it's what it's about. You all learned at the end of the day, so that's what it's about.
Yeah, and I couldn't agree more with you on that. When we come back, we're going to talk about his life and how he got involved in the sport of mixed martial arts here on CTV. Welcome back to Eric's View, the MMA edition. I was talking with my friend Michael about things about MMA, about the different forms of MMA, and about Staten Island and its popularity, and being aware of being with the right teacher and all that stuff. Now we're going to get into the personal aspect of this interview and talk about his life and how he got involved. So, Michael, how did you get involved in mixed martial arts?
As a little kid, I always wanted to do karate. So, I was 6, 7, 8 years old. I always, like every other little kid, tried it out and loved it. And then my grandfather was a boxer, so I kind of started getting more pushed towards boxing. And by my late teens, 17, 18, I started focusing on boxing and kickboxing. And then by my early 20s, mid 20s, I started boxing. So that was like my big thing. I fought in the Golden Gloves and stopped for a little while just due to life gets in the way sometimes of training. And then I started training in martial arts again, and it just all kind of evolved again. So I've been training pretty much my whole life, on and off in my younger years, but since about 17, 18, and all the way up. So.
And what was your time like in the doing the Golden Gloves?
It's a different life. Like just training for fights when you're younger is just kind of always trying to make weight. It's not easy, So it's always trying to make weight. It was always. I didn't have a lot of friends because I just was busy training and doing my own thing and not worrying about going out, hanging out, and stuff like that. So it does kind of change your lifestyle a little bit. But also, nothing like being in the ring. You can't describe it unless you're in it. So, and it's just a feeling of just that pride of win or lose, it doesn't really matter. It's just the fact that you're in there and you're getting to kind of experience something that not many people have experienced, or have the guts to get in there.
It's very tough, because I've been to a Golden Gloves match a few years ago at Patrides and all, and seeing these guys train the way they do day in and day out, for this particular moment or any particular match and all that, you gotta give it up to them. Just like the training that people do in mixed martial arts and all that. Like, what would you say is the difference between the training for an MMA fight and a boxing fight?
Boxing fight, you're just training for punches, where MMA is every aspect of it. So not only do you need explosive strength, but you're on the floor, you're standing up, you're getting kicked, you're getting punched, you're getting thrown to the ground. So it's different, little different. Training for MMA is totally kind of different than when I trained for boxing. When I trained for boxing, I did my road work, I ran, I lifted some weights, but now MMA is just different. And plus now there's so much new technology as far as training wise, like different methods of training. Yeah. So strength and conditioning wise, there's just a ton of stuff out there. So it's just really different.
And what would you say is like your daily regimen and all that for you?
Owning a business is kind of tough, and I'm getting older, so basically it's not as when I was younger where I just I have more of a difficult time now doing my road work and running and training. So I got to kind of find time to train and find time to kind of fit things in and stuff like that around a schedule where when I was younger, I just knew I woke up every morning this time and this is what I did. Now it's different, now instead of me training, I'm here.
Definitely.
So,
and who was your biggest? You said your uncle was.
Oh, my grandfather.
Your grandfather.
Yeah, he was just growing up in the 40s and 50s, he was just happened to be back then everyone was a fighter of some sort.
And you said he mostly pushed you towards boxing, or
Well, my
put you in
father
the dra-
did. My
yeah.
father kind of pushed me towards it when I was younger.
Yeah.
So my grandfather passed away when I was, but
Oh.
I always heard the stories and
Sorry
stuff like
about
that.
that.
So no, that was before I was born. So
No.
it just kind of pushed me through. My father was always talking about my grandfather boxing and stuff like that. So it just kind of caught an interest to me, So
And you talked about owning a business, with your daily regimen. How did you get the idea to open your own business?
I ran a martial arts school about 6-7 years ago in New Jersey, and I kind of didn't like certain things, and I wanted to do certain things my way, and I felt there's kind of a lot of fluff in traditional martial arts sometimes, that you kind of just do things because that's what their instructor did, and that's what their instructor did, and so on, and no one's willing to evolve and kind of learn new stuff, and I just wanted to do my own thing and learn new stuff.
Was it also their business practices that you didn't like as well, or?
Some, yes. I mean, sometimes, you don't agree with people, so
Or
that was kind of, one aspect, but mostly because I wanted to experience new stuff. If I would have stayed with the traditional martial arts school, I may have never experienced Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu or just Muay Thai, so kind of. I wanted to evolve, and I wanted to. It's nothing like putting on a white belt again. So it kind of feels good because it humbles you real quick, and you realize how much you don't know once you start a new art and once you start training in something else. So.
Of course, yeah, definitely. Like, like with any business, it's always tough in the very beginning. Was it tough for you in the very beginning?
Yeah, like everybody else, but most people want to just be a boss and open up a business and sit back, and that's the problem. I kind of only work, 20 hours a day type of thing. You only make sure you work hard, and eventually you'll succeed. So that's how I am. I just kind of keep grinding, keep going. And
So you're more of a hands-on business owner than some of
owning
other.
the business is the second part. The first part, I'm a martial artist first. I'm an instructor second, and then I'm a business owner third. So that's kind of where I'm at with that.
And like I was gonna ask, like sometimes can it be tough at times, juggling the two worlds,
Yeah, most of the time it's tough, but you just kind of deal with it.
Yeah.
I really want to train, but there's times I can't. So I kind of got to sit back and kind of, all right, I got to do some work. I got to do some business work. And there's times where I'm training, that's all I'm doing. I'm not worried about business. I'm worried about I have a fight coming up in a couple of weeks. I just want to train. That's my,
a couple weeks from.
Oh yeah, jiu-jitsu tournament. So
Good luck with that.
hopefully,
sir.
thank you. So.
Yeah, I hope you kick some butt and win. And anyway, did you start this business on your own, or did you have partners in
No, I
this?
started on my own.
No, sorry.
Yeah, so it's been my deal from the start. I kind of started out in a dance school when I first started. I rented some space from a friend of mine who owned a dance school, and from there I worked in a gym, and then it kind of just evolved around. And then the last couple of months, I actually wound up taking on a partner because I felt it was a nice balance to have a woman partner, because moms see the aspects of it. When a woman comes in, they see like a bald tattooed guy, and they're a little hesitant to give me their 3-year-old,
Yeah.
But they see a mom with children's trained in martial arts, she trains in martial arts, so it kind of was just a nice balance.
Definitely.
And someone who is involved in the business cares about the business.
But I see more than the tattoos. I see a personality. You know what? Because once you get to know him, folks, you look beyond the tattoos. This is a guy who's very committed to what he does. He cares about the students. He's passionate. I'm not just speaking this from I'm speaking it from experience. But even from but before I even started taking his classes, I really, I saw that this guy meant business, and he
Thanks.
knew what he was doing, and I felt like great day one taking his classes. So, and that's why I've been here since February, and
That means a lot. Thank you.
no problem, man. And well, another question I was gonna get into is like, the students that come here. What kind of students do you get?
They range from older people who just want to get in shape to young people, little kids who just want to try it out and have fun, to a couple of people who want to fight, but everybody wants to be a fighter until you get punched in the face, and then you see how quick you don't want to fight anymore. So
Yeah, believe me, you won't be seeing me fighting anytime soon.
So basically what I do is everybody that comes in, especially the tough guys that want to fight, I kind of just push them to the side a little bit, and if you're serious about fighting, you'll be here training. So, you don't just come in like Superman and want to fight. You got to train, you got to work hard, and then if you see potential, then you put somebody out there. But a lot of people are ready to just throw the next person in the ring too. And as an instructor,